Hi everyone, Sandra Madafri here. Hope you're doing well. As promised, here I am with today's tidbits, and I'm going to talk a little bit. What I'm planning to do is to give you guys as much understanding as I possibly can of what would be going on for you over the next what's been happening over these last few weeks and what will keep happening to you. And especially I want to start reaching out to the people who, good morning, Kylie, how are you? I've got my setup going up here. I'm in for 3 videos, but today I've set it up so it's not so spread out. So I'm getting a little bit better as I go along. And I want to begin to reach out to people that starting to get into a bit of a financial flux and starting to worry a little bit about money and things like that. For those who don't know me, and I will do a live on this at some stage, 7.5 years ago, I basically lost everything. And I, through understanding of me, through understanding of how to handle my situations, and then creating what I now call the 7 steps to living with intention, and specifically the Maximize Your Money program, I brought myself back to a state of where I was literally on the verge of bankruptcy. And I want to slowly work towards chatting about that and helping people to understand that being in a situation at the moment where you're panicked, where you're in fear, is not going to help you financially. So it's really important that I go through some other things first, and the grief cycle, explaining the grief cycle today is one of them before I start touching on to the money, because you have got to have a very clear head when you begin to maximize your finances and when you begin to get into the real practical steps of looking at what your finances are and making sure that you have a financial forecast for your future, not just for today, which is what I'm seeing constantly with people at the moment, where they're only thinking about right now. And of course, yes, you do have to think financially about right now, but you need to have a financial forecast of what's going to happen in a couple of months. I will talk about that because there have been people that have reached out to me as I go along. Like I said, I first need to chat about you understanding you, first understanding your unconscious mind, where you're coming from, to hints and tips on, and these are all on my Facebook pages. They're all on YouTube if you want to have a look. To get you set up for that program, because if you go straight into the program and your mindset isn't quite where it's meant to be, or you're coming from fear, you will not get the best out of it. So today I want to talk about the grief cycle. And guys, let me tell you, grief and loss is not only death. People tend to think that we go through grief and loss only at death, but it's not. We go through grief and loss for any form of loss that we have, for any form of loss in any part of our life. And at the moment, there's a lot of loss. There's a loss of freedom, there's a loss of jobs, there's any form of loss that you go through, any feeling that you've lost something, you go through this grief cycle. Now, depending on what's going on for you and what the actual loss or grief is, it might be on varying scales. So it's really important that you understand this so that you understand yourself. So there are 5 stages to grief and loss, and this is what you need to understand. Now, it's really important, guys, that you allow yourself to actually go through these stages, that you don't block them and say, I shouldn't be feeling like that, because that is the worst thing that you can do. The biggest tip I can give you is to allow yourself to journal these out when you go through them and understand them and become aware, because the unconscious mind just wants awareness. So if you allow the unconscious mind to bring this stuff up, one, you will be aware of it, and you can say, you can ask yourself, is it really true, or is it my thoughts that are creating this? Or is this really happening? How do I feel about it? And the unconscious mind will let it go really quickly. So do not at any circumstances during the next few weeks just push what you're feeling away. It will cause bigger traumas later on. So allow yourself to go through the process. So let's have a look at these 5 stages. The first stage is what we call denial. And we've all seen this happening. We all denied it. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we were like, no, this coronavirus isn't going to hit us. We're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. And bang. Okay. So the sort of things that happen when you go through denial is you think everything's okay, that there is nothing wrong. And you start to think, what's everyone on about? It's not me who has the problem. This is all now, I don't have to worry about it. So you tend to go into denial. Now, the other thing I want to say, guys, is that these 5 stages, you actually can spiral through them continuously. So they're not just you feel them once and then they go away. These 5 cycles, you can actually go through them. And sometimes you can go through them all in the space of a day, of an hour. So just let yourself go with this. It's so important. Becoming now... and studying the unconscious mind as much as I have, the worst thing you can do is deny this, okay? So denial. So don't deny it. So, you will go through denial, which is the first stage where you think I'm going to be all right, nothing's going to happen, and so on. The next stage is anger. And now you're seeing a lot of that anger. It's interesting because on Facebook, I'm seeing people who post constantly actually going through this cycle. Okay, so one minute they're in denial and having fun and laughing, and the next minute they're really, really angry and they're blaming someone. Okay, so what happens when we go through anger? You might be saying things to yourself, why does this happen to me? Why is this happening to me? You can become aggressive. I have seen some really aggressive behavior. We've seen it in the supermarket with the toilet rolls, guys. This is what happens when fear gets the best of us. So aggression is one sign that you're in that second cycle of grief, okay? And then you start to blame others. It's not my fault. Why me? It's not fair. How can this happen to me? Who is to blame? And you're seeing so many people out there blaming ScoMo. Now, as much as we like him, we don't like him, this is not a political live. People are doing the best they can with the resources that they have. So, you start to get angry and you start to blame outside yourself. Okay, so that's the second cycle of grief. Okay. The third one is what we call the bargaining cycle. And the bargaining cycle, if I just do this, then maybe it will go away. So this is where people begin to go into that cycle of blaming themselves and getting into a bit of guilt, or trying to bargain with the universe, bargaining with God. If I pray to God, it will go away. If I do this, it will go away. If I do that, it'll go away. Okay, so you need to begin to understand that this roller coaster that you could possibly be on at the moment are the normal and natural. So don't beat yourself up. And that's one of the reasons why I'm putting these lives on, to show people that this is normal, what is happening. I'm going through this as well on a daily basis. The fourth part of the cycle of grief and loss is depression. Feeling really down, don't want to participate in anything, and feeling worthless. It's really important, guys, that you push through this cycle and ask yourself, what is it that you're really doing when you're feeling this, when you get into this fourth stage of grief and loss, which is depression. So again, like I'm saying to you, and for the people that are joining now, this is not about being right, wrong. This is about being aware of these cycles and working through them, and they are okay. And it is okay to feel like this. This is normal and natural. Then the fifth cycle is acceptance. I can't change what has happened, so I have to move forward. Self-awareness through looking at what you have learned from the experience, and it's going to be okay. I can't fight it. I might as well be prepared for it. So these are the cycles that we're going, and you will, like I said, go over these cycles, 5 cycles of grief, loss, over and over again through this next however many weeks, and it's okay. It's just understanding that this is a natural, normal state of being a human, and that it is okay for you to just express. Now, the best way to express, especially when you're going through the anger, is in journaling, guys. I can't tell you enough. It's I'm going to do some work with emotional intelligence over the next couple of days, because the 5 stages of grief and loss and understanding them is also part of emotional intelligence, of understanding and becoming self-aware of what's going on for you. And self-awareness is one of the very first parts of that we talk about in emotional intelligence. So just to recap, guys, this is absolutely normal and natural, and you can go through these whole 5 stages over and over again in a very short period of time. Don't push them away. Sit with it. Understand what's going on. Journal if need be to get a better understanding, or just automatic writing, which is don't even read it until you finish. Just let your unconscious mind write what you're feeling, get it out of your system, get it out of your body, and accept and acknowledge that it's okay. So again, I'm just going to wrap it up. Stage number 1, denial. Everything is okay. It's not going to happen to me. Stage number 2, anger, blame, anger at the situation, looking to blame someone, anger at self, whatever it might be, but anger. And this is the one where you have to be really careful not to start projecting this out onto other people. Stage 3 is bargaining, where you begin to say, if I pray, if I do this, if I do that, maybe this is going to be better for me, and that's okay. Thanks, Kylie, no problem. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So the 4th one is depression, when you begin to feel down, hopeless, worthless, I can't do anything about this. And the 5th one is acceptance. And guys, I have got a video that I did the other day on acceptance. It is, if you want to find these things quickly, they are all on my YouTube channel, Sandra Modafferi Training and Mentoring. Go and have a look at these videos. It will help you. But just allow yourself to go through these slowly, bit by bit, and know that this is normal and natural, and it is part of just being human, and it's okay. All right, guys, if anyone needs anything, please, please, please reach out. I will jump on again tomorrow with another video. Not sure what, but whatever I do. I just go with the flow of what feels best. But there will be emotional intelligence, and then we're going to start working towards some financial stuff to keep people grounded and doing some financial forecasting for the future. All right, guys, have a great Tuesday, and bye for now.